This could be a stepping stone boat, or it could also be your forever boat. It could be an absolutely awesome day boat, but it will also suit some serious cruising missions. Ladies and gents, this is the Marex 440 Gourmet Cruiser. This is the boat that will suit many missions. The reason I say that is because this boat, you can option it with V-drive shafts, IPS, or stern drives. So there are people coming from, in my opinion, large production sailing yachts, potentially stern drive sedan motorboats, and even multi-engine outboard powered day boats who are all going to see some useful mission sets for this 440. So my name's Dan Jones, welcome to Dan's Boat Life, and welcome to beautiful Oslo, Norway. So we're in the home of Marex yachts, and I'm going to start with the bow. This is going to be the full and detailed tour, but after this video, if you're interested in this style and you want to see how she performs, we're going to be doing that next, and you're very welcome to join us. So starting up on the back of the boat, this is a super cool functional design. Yes, we've got teak on this particular model. No, you don't have to have teak if you're looking in another part of the world, and you can also have flexi or artificial teak and just have the cap rails if you wish. We've got some windows going through, bathing the main cabin downstairs with some light. This opens up for ventilation, and the backrests, these will hinge up here and here. This sun lounge is actually closed cell foam, so you can just chuck this off the side of the boat and use it as a floaty toy, which is very, very clever. And yes, there is a possibility to secure it to the boat with a line if it's windy. As you can see, we're doing the bow ladder with this extendable platform. This is a very Scandinavian thing. I think this is awesome for other countries as well, for those of you who want to board on beaches. And depending on the drive system, you know, stern drives might be suitable for that if you want to do a little bit of sandbar action. But as you can see, the anchor system deploys from within the bow. So it's actually enclosed, it's stylish, it's good looking, but then these gas struts, when the anchor winch deploys, actually puts the gas struts deploy, and then the whole thing slides out, and you've got your stainless steel chain and anchor, and it's operated from the helm, but you can also do it via remote control up on the bow. And yes, there is a camera option, so you can just do everything from the helm should you wish. The stainless steel is great on this thing. We've got cleats, forward cleats, midships forward and aft cleats, courtesy lights. All the fixtures on these boats are top notch. They really, really are. I'm going to make some comparisons to some competition at the end of this video, and just kind of put this boat where I believe it sits in the market, and it's up there. Basically, it's not a production mass market style build. This is definitely a step above. So we'll just quickly cover the roof here. This is a manually operated sunroof. We've got the solar panels on top. Those are flexi panels. And we've even got more solar panels aft on the stylistic piece with the little wings on either side. You can see all of our aerials, radar, etc. up on the radar mast. And you've also got your flagpole deployed from there, but we'll just move straight through. First, really, really cool thing. And again, I think if some of you are coming from sailing boats and you're looking for your first nice motorboat, you're going to appreciate these big side opening doors. So on both sides, really, really good amount of space, which is awesome, but we'll head straight aft. This design is fantastic for social boating. Now, there is another option. There's a Scandinavian, or Scandinavia, I don't know how to pronounce it properly, version, which will allow more seating inside, but we'll get to that in a second. But just get a load of this swim platform. She's about 4.3 meters from memory, 14 feet total beam. You've got these tender chocks built into the platform. How cool is that? And you have these 4-step deployment stairs that automatically deploy when the platform hydraulically lowers. We also, as you can possibly see already, we have the stern anchor, and yes, you can still lower the platform with this deployed, so that is possible. On the starboard side, we have a regular telescopic swim ladder, which we can deploy if you're not using the platform to get in and out of the water. And these slots just here, that allows a little bit of air to pass through the platform when she's going up and down. There's quite a few very, very sensible features from an operational perspective. First thing, side decks, equal amount of space on both sides, so really, really good access forward and aft. Lots and lots of grab holds. So if someone's, using this boat offshore, I don't see any issues whatsoever. There's lots and lots of places to grab onto things. And then your storage is awesome. So we have these little fender and line storage lockers in here on both sides. Same again in here, you get 2 fenders in there. Deeper storage underneath this one, but obviously it's also a really, really nice hangout spot. But this is deeper storage, and then more just here where we have the freshwater and raw water selector. So you just select it if you need to hose down your chain. That's all done from there. And then we have high quality stainless steel swim shower out the back here, and that's the other storage location just in here. But pay attention to the design of this wraparound seating area. So this is really the focus of the social spot on this boat, and the designers have put a lot of attention towards you being able to do this. But see this door right here? We've even got it secured in place with this little latch just there to allow you to do this. So how cool is that? So everybody can have a corner and just chill out, because that's what you do. Now, we're up in the Northern Hemisphere, the sun's not very strong here, so opening this roof is a massive benefit to us. But if you are in a tropical zone, you don't have to have this as opening. It can be a fixed GRP roof if you wish. The next thing, which is amazing, so obviously you're going to need to enclose this area, but doing that with a regular clears setup is a pain in the butt. These Marex systems, they pioneered this system. The Marex boats just have a garage in here, and the clears just slide out like so. It is so easy to use, and then the whole thing just tucks away when you don't need it. Boom, boom, boom. So you can, I did it this morning myself, you can have the whole thing open and ready to go in under a minute, or it's like a 30-second job. But they've designed it in such a way that the fiberglass lip just out here puts pressure on the clears, or the canvas is what some people call it in other countries. So when it's been secured, it actually has a rope which puts tension on the bottom of it just via these hooks just here. So you close it, put tension on it. So if you are in a location where a storm is blowing through, or you just want to keep this part of the boat air conditioned, it actually puts a proper seal, because the clears are pressing up on this in such a way that it's a proper weather seal. So you are going to keep this part of the boat well climate controlled. That's a really, really sensible idea. So you can still enjoy these views, have the roof open if you want, if it was just wind, or if you really need to hunker down and make it comfortable, you can. So I love that. Now, underneath all of these seats, you've got gas strut opening, and notice how I didn't actually have to maneuver the cushions around. They've been designed in such a way that the cushions don't get caught, and you can still open them up on the gas struts, so you don't have to stuff around with any of that. You've actually got space under here, which is perfect for storing rubbish bags, because that's outside of the boat and it's all secured separate to the other storage spots. We've got more storage underneath here, under here, and we actually have life raft storage. I've currently got my bag in it just under here. So you could, in an emergency, slide the life raft out and then slide it out the back door just onto the aft platform without having to physically maneuver it. So that's a safe and sensible design. Now, this table will drop down, but she will also open up into boom. There's a couple of different versions. We are going to see another one of these tables on the Scandinavia version in a couple of days up in Bergen. But as you can see, it turns into a big dining area. And yes, you can drop that down. You can also electrify it if you wish. This opening sunroof is manually operated, which is sensible, but we also have beautiful electrically operated drop down window. So when I've obviously dropped it down right now, so that's electrically operated, and when that's done, you can flip this Corian, or it's Corian-ish, looks like marble, but this bench top, whatever it's made of, flips out, flips over, and then my views from here are really great. This is super functional if you're serving friends a drink out the back of the boat from this location. So that's great. We obviously just go through a sliding door just here, and we even have a decent drain and really good engine access, which we're going to have a look at towards the end of the video, because I've got a lot that I want to show you before we get there. So keep watching if that's of interest to you. Now we're in the heart of the boat. This is what the Gourmet setup is all about. This is where I see some of you coming from those big outboard powered day boats and still wanting to do really epic day boat setups wherever you are in the world. You're probably going to see a lot of value in this layout. I can also imagine some of you coming out of the sailing boats and you're operating the boat as a couple, but now you're going, you're more interested in cruising at a higher cruising speed. You can widen your area of operations and do more, but you want to kind of live on the boat. Again, having this massive galley might suit you a bit better. However, if you go for the Scandinavia version, this is replaced with lounging. So if you're in Thailand, where I live, or another tropical place, and you want to be sitting inside with the air conditioning, that might make more sense for you. You still have a galley here, and yes, you can option a barbie out back on the center line or in the starboard aft corner as well. So you can still have some cooking out back and also have this galley here. So just think about what suits you. Essentially, when you're operating the boat, your house battery switches, there's just one button there, then you've got power on, your engines are at the helm. We'll cover that during the test drive. But you've got really, really nice finishings all the way throughout, huge amount of bench space. But what I love, and I think what the Aussies and Americans will love, is the amount of refrigeration on this boat. It's really epic. So we've got the possibility to refrigerate or add more fridges out in the cockpit if you wish. We've got these two big Verifrigos just here. We've got this huge top opening. Now, whilst that doesn't look like a fridge, it actually is. So this is a big electric chill box. So you could put 2 cases of beer in there and keep them cool and then still have the fridges just there. So that's epic, because you also have this 100-litre jobby just here. So that's great. I love seeing having so much refrigeration throughout the boat. It makes life a little bit easier. So we've got deep drawers here, cutlery drawers here, 1, 2, 3, another deep one here, which is going to be good for pots and pans. The Millet oven. We've got the 1, 2, 3, 4 burner with the air extraction thing just above. But remember, you've got plenty of air coming in through this side opening port helm door. And then you've got a little bit more storage above. This boat has got a heater, so that's a heater operation master vault. This is the button for the window to go up and down. And these are your light operations just here. There is also deep storage for bins. We've got twin sinks, decent size on this one. And does that pull out? Yes, it does. Okay, and the other thing is, this, you can tell it's been designed by a boater, because that's got a place same on this side. So that's really sensible. I like that. And we also have a dishwasher, Millet, and then more drawers just here. So you're not struggling whatsoever for hosting large groups if you wish, but it doesn't end there, because on the roof line you actually have a big drop-down TV, which can be manipulated, boom, boom, like so. So you can sit out there and watch some sports. How good is that? So we've got strip lighting overhead. Some of it's a bit hard to see because it's obviously the middle of the day. It's actually not the middle of the day. It's like almost 5 p.m. But the sun hardly goes down here in Norway. I was a little bit thrown this morning at 4:30 in the morning and the sun was already up. But shallow drawer there. It's going to be useful for knickknacks. And then we've got really nice helm setup and awesome space for the navigator. I'm going to show you this once again because remember that corner theme I was talking about out in the cockpit? Same goes for this space and also the helm station. It's super comfortable. You got all this space and these cushions are perfectly designed. They're just perfectly designed for hanging out and doing nothing. Which I guess is the idea, but it doesn't end. Look at this. So this will actually flip out. This is beautiful. So you got storage underneath. I've actually got my phone in here now. That's all soft to touch, and then this will flip out. And this is basically another small dining table, should you wish, but another place to do some work on a laptop if you wish. 3 drink holders, soft to touch up forward of the helm, and it's also going to be great for not reflecting sun in your eyes. Boom, boom. Demisters. This sunroof above my head is manually operated. All you have to do is just manipulate this, twist that unlocks it, and there's multiple positions so you can close it every few inches depending on what you need. So if you do want to just knock out some sun but still get some air in, you can do that should you wish. So come and have a look at the helm. This is fantastic. Look at the design of the seat. Super comfy. You got a good armrest here. First thing I want to point out, whilst you got plenty of space here at the helm, depending on your body size, you might need to get closer to the wheel. Ordinarily, we'd want to manipulate this seat. But this one, we can actually manipulate the throttle and the wheel. I think this is great. So we can just bring that this way or send it forward depending on your body type. And then your driving position is going to be super comfy. You can still adjust the wheel and there's still plenty of space to get out through the side door and also hang your head out and see all the extremities of the boat. So that's awesome. But in terms of the helm, come in and just have a bit of a look. Underneath the wheel is the battery switches. So that's both engine battery switches. And then we've got the zip wakes, the throttle. The joystick for the IPS version is on the center line, which does make a lot of sense when you're operating it because you just rest your arm on the steering wheel. And then depending on how you're going to drive it, if you're driving it like this, that's quite comfortable. Or if you want to drive it like that, that's also quite comfortable. So you get a good sight line from here aft. Same again if you're looking at the port aft quarter, which works quite well. So Volvo engine start stops just here. You've got your bow thruster just here. And then we've got our chain counter just here. All of our various boat systems from lights to bilge pumps to windscreen wiper operations, all done on traditional rocker switches, which is sensible. 2 drink holders. That's your power display, your fusion, and we've got twin Garmin flat screen multifunctional displays, and the VHF is just next to that, just there. And forward of the helm, you've even got a space to throw a few phones or tablets down should you wish, so that kind of works as well. So yeah, this is just great. It's a very comfortable boat to drive. Let's just have a look. I haven't actually seen underneath the helm here yet. Okay, so more storage, decent. You'll put an EPIRB in there should you wish. Very, very functional. I've got vents for, this one's got the heater, but you can obviously do it with the air conditioning. And this is not teak. So if you remember like the old fashioned houses when they would burn the timber to weather it and then use that as cladding on the outside of the house, That's essentially what they've done with this timber in the middle of the boat. So it's a little bit more environmentally friendly. It's super resistant, obviously, because that's what they would use traditionally on the outside of people's houses. So it's super resistant to water, and it looks nice. From here, we'll go downstairs and check out the accommodation, but it's also available in a 2-cabin. So today we're on the 3-cabin, but you can get this in a 2-cabin layout. So come with me, let's have a look. So we're still on the timber, we're just down the 4 stairs, and then it's essentially mostly a level deck, but this is the 3-cabin layout. Just quickly to explain, if you go for the 2-cabin layout, this area here is actually a shower. Then you've got to head forward and the door is actually here. So the master has its own toilet and separate shower. And then you've got a full beam 2nd cabin with a head in here, which also doubles as the day head. But just come forward and let me just point out a few things, because the master berth is super beamy. Okay, just hopefully you can get some perspective of me sitting on it. I'll just sit up. It's really, really wide. So what they have done, I think they've actually raised the bed a little bit to allow lots and lots of beam on this bed. And pay attention to these whole windows on either side. You've got a lot of good usable views out to either side. So it's quite pleasant, and you can still sit up in bed here. And these soft furnishings are kind of breaking everything up, but also doing a lot of sound absorption as well. And that's also going to soak up moisture. So these cabins are going to be quite sort of dry and comfortable all year round. But both people can step on either side, because you've got equal amount of space on both sides to go down these stairs and then exit. So you're not rolling over someone else if you need to go to the toilet. You've got phone charging on either side. You actually have these storage bins as well, both on port and starboard, and you can operate the lights from in bed as well. And then you've got these overhead lockers here with pull down blinds, which is important in this part of the world. We also have proper full blackout blinds overhead, and that's the opening hatch for escape bat ventilation as well. On both port and starboard, you've got these big mirrors, but then you've got decent hanging, and see how it's all been finished off super nicely inside. So we've got storage as well. We got the flat screen TV on the bulkhead starboard, so you can see that from in bed. And then you can do storage for all your bedding, extra towels underneath just here, and more drawers above that. So they are deep. That's going to be perfect for a lot of that sort of stuff. Head with enclosed shower. So it's not a wet head essentially, because we've got this panel here which we can manipulate, boom, and close off this space. So see how that now becomes a proper wet head. That's quite a sensible solution for the space available. So we've got a nice blacked out shower, full mirror, down lights. In terms of ventilation, we do actually have so that's just magnetically held. We do actually have an opening port just behind these Venetian blinds here. Decent amount of storage above. Nice vanity with the Corian, and this corner piece opens. The loo roll is inside there, and then we're on like a flexi teak flooring. And this design is not going to let any water from the shower out into the bedroom because of the lip just here. So the water's going down, not into your cabin, which can happen on some boats. So that's a good design. Access to the bilge is great. You've got hatches everywhere, so all the necessary places you can get into. And this being the 3-cabin version, this is the day head and the heads that's shared with both of those cabins. And see this, we're utilizing the same design again. So this just manipulates into this position. That's really easy to operate. And so now we've got a proper, look, I mean, look, I'm 5'7". If I put my hands up, I'm only just touching the roof there. So if you're a big guy or girl, I think this is perfectly acceptable for the space available. Then you just pull that like so, boom, boom, easy. Same again, corner piece storage there, opening port, nice mirrors all around, Very, very functional. I like this. So come into the accommodation. This one has been set up in the double bed mode. So I'll just jump in, come in and check it out for space. Comfy mattresses, big, big window. We've got blackout blinds which pull down as well, opening ports for ventilation. So this is one big bed. So just pay attention for the space. You can't necessarily sit up in bed because of this design here, but you do have more space. So if you've got to slide out and get up, you've got plenty of space, but it's not necessarily a sit up in bed cabin. Ventilation or air conditioning vent just there, I should say. We got the proper, where is it? It's up here. Boom, boom. Shelves just there, and a nice little seat with more storage underneath for your shoes, and then bilge access beneath. But what I wanted to show you, so that's great if you got a couple, but then come across to this side, because both of these cabins, you can actually do this. So how clever is this? So this little lounge can actually be manipulated. So this piece can go in here, and we can now turn this into one big bed like we saw on the other cabin, or you can have this lounge. See the corner theme again? It's so nice. Look at this big window. Like it's really, really pleasant. You like just get a load of those views. And so if you just have a single person wanting to use this cabin, this is definitely how you'd want to set the boat up and have your own little reading space. And you have enough headroom just here to sit up and enjoy it. Storage again. But this particular one, see how this cabinet is thicker? It's actually because we have a washer and dryer just in there. So yes, you're losing a little bit of hanging space. We still do have some hanging space in here. And then we've got shelf space above here. So we've got enough, but we've got a washer and dryer, which again, for some of you couples wanting to use the boat, that makes a lot of sense. And I think if you're going to have a Dyson vacuum cleaner, you might actually put it underneath here and just run a plug to it so it can be on charge. That seems like a logical place for that. So from here, we'll go and have a look at the engine bay. So you just undo these two latches, comes up on the gas strut. Pay attention to the engine room insulation. This boat has got really good sound levels underway. That's good to see, nice and useful. But we got a step which has been conveniently placed if you're coming from that direction, but you've also got a telescopic ladder. I'm going to ditch my sunnies and come with me. So we've got the IPS 650s. You can do stern drive. If you did, the engines obviously would be mounted a little bit further aft, and V-drive shaft. But this is the engine bay with the IPS. So I'm looking forward port right now. You can see the fireboy system, the fuel filters. We've got 2 fuel tanks on this boat, 1 water tank, 1 black water tank. This is the Whisper genset on port side. And then aft of that is the hot water tank, as you can see. And then you can see the hose retractor aft of that. And I'm just going to show you down the center line. Okay, you don't have stand-up headroom, which you shouldn't expect to have on a style of boat like this, so that wouldn't make sense. But you do have enough room to move around either side of these motors. Someone my size or bigger can move around this space. If you did get the gyro, which is an option, it's a quick gyro, it's going to be in this location, and so that's going to hinder a little bit of access. So just factor that in. And underneath these checker plates is your main batteries, but your crank batteries are over there on the starboard side to balance out the gen set. So you should have your cranks, maybe your bow thrusters, I'm not too sure. That could also be in the bow. And then that's your shore power retraction, hydraulics, and see how you can even get right in behind the motor there. And just look at the fit and finish down here. It's very, very good. You've got power distribution up on the forward panel here, your master volts, and you can see even everything, the bolts, hopefully you can see that. They've done that up with a torsion wrench. So everything has been done to spec. Again, you don't see that on every boat. And then if we look up on the roof line, look at the insulation, and that's what's giving us these really good or really low engine running noises, because the engine bay is aft of the main cockpit bulkhead, and it's very well insulated. So all that noise and potential vibration is actually aft of where most of the people are. So it's pretty good. Marex 440 Gourmet Cruiser. So who may see the most value out of this boat? Some design feedback and some considerations for you. I believe, and please, this is where I want you guys to also engage in the comments and talk to me, because this helps me understand what boats you're comparing this with and what boats I should potentially film next. But if you are someone, say, coming out of a Beneteau Oceanus or a Jeanneau Sun Odyssey, for example, so that's a sailing yacht, maybe a large sailing yacht, and you and your wife just want to now move into the motorboat world, well then I believe one of these, fitted with the shaft drives and some potential other customizations, the 2-cabin version Gourmet, could be really good for you. It's a conservative looking, sensibly driving and easy to operate boat. It's going to make a lot of sense if you're making your first step into the motor yacht world. So that's one demographic. If you're someone, say, coming out of a Sea Line C330 stern drives, so that's a sedan planing stern drive cruiser, and you want to continue to do that, but you want a lot more space and a step up in quality, build quality, well, you're also going to see value in getting one of these, but in the stern drives. So if you're in a part of the world where you winterize the boat, or if you're in a part of the world where you have shallow water considerations and you want to be able to trim those stern drives up to access those shallower spots, well then one of these fitted with the stern drives could be just bloody awesome for you. So consider that. Also, if you are someone who has a multi-engine outboard powered day boat, I'm thinking Nimbus T11 or even something like a Grady White, and you are deciding, okay, we want a lot more weather protection, we want a lot more optionality in the way we boat, so overnights with comfort is important, and we really want to have that big social space where everyone can sit around, but you still want to run the thing solo. One of these with the IPSs and perhaps the dynamic positioning system optioned could be perfect for you, because with that option, you can absolutely run this boat completely solo. You can get a wing station out the back, so all of your friends can be sitting, whether you go for the Scandinavia version or the Gourmet, they can be sitting in that lovely social space out the back there, and with those 2 side opening doors, you can completely run the boat uninterrupted, or you can just have one person helping you and they can still get forward and aft through that door. So think about that. So this is why I really see this as the boat with many missions. Those are the people who I see. If you see someone else, please jump in the comments and tell us. Some feedback on the design. Okay, I haven't been to the Marex factory yet, so I can't say this definitively, but the quality, the build quality appears to be on par with Riviera boats, who I consider to be one of the best boat builders in the world. So take that for what it is. This thing seems to be very nicely finished everywhere you look. I have looked everywhere today. The side doors, I just think that is awesome. It's just a point that's got to be raised multiple times from an operational perspective, from a ventilation perspective, just general around the dock. That is really awesome. Having the optionality of these different drive systems, hopefully my previous comments has explained that to you. I think that's great. And so many sensible boaty features that someone who's used a boat for years and years will appreciate, like those fender lockers in the right places, the design of that canopy, the clears out the back, how it presses up against the side walls to fully enclose or make it weather tight, the enclosure. So that is just awesome. Considerations for you, it goes back to the drive systems. You need to think about your mission and understand which drive system suits you best, because every drive system is going to have a different response and behave a little bit differently. So the weight and balance is going to be different. Engines are going to be mounted in slightly different places depending on whether they're stern drive, IPS, or V drive shaft facing the other direction. So there's going to be a little bit of a weight difference, but also the drive systems themselves. Shaft drive propellers are going to be this big, IPS propellers are going to be, you know, counter-rotational dual props and this big, and stern drive propellers are going to be different. So they're all going to behave in a different manner, and just do a little bit of research, or jump on Connect and ask me if you're struggling to understand the main point, and I'll explain it to you. So those are some things to think about. How does she perform? Well, that's the next video. Click on the link coming up on the screen and you will see that and work that out for yourself. And some competition that I think you could directly compare this to, I'll also cover that in the next video. So jump on the next, or click on screen, which is the next video coming up right now, coming to you from beautiful Oslo, Norway. Thanks, legends. I'll see ya in the next one.